Hey guys, Tom from Back to Healthy Active here. Can the disc heal by itself and what we can do to help it? To make this demonstration a little bit more practical, I'm going to use the squishy ball over here and the model of the disc, of the healthy disc over here, and also the injured disc with a little bit of herniation over here. So in the middle of the disc there is gel and there is some kind of layer of tissue which keeps that gel in the middle. When there is some pressure from top down or basically different kind of movement, what happens is the gel basically stays, it deforms a little bit, which I'm going to demonstrate in a second with this ball, and this outer layer stretches. That outer layer is very important there as it holds that gel inside. So when we apply the pressure from the top down, just like this, we can see the gel kind of deforms and it's being spread to the sides, just like this. When we apply the pressure from the top down and then we, let's say, bend, most of that gel is basically pushed into this direction, just to this side. This becomes quite important when we consider that most of the disc herniation and disc bulges are on the back side. So what is happening is, as we are bending forward, maybe with a little bit of load, that gel is being pushed backwards and the pressure on the back side of the disc, which holds the gel inside, is basically increased. So if the pressure is basically too much for that outside layer to hold that gel inside, what can happen is that gel can go outside and cause a little bit of irritation or a little bit of pressure on the nerve. Your body is usually going to trigger quite a lot of inflammation because it doesn't want that gel in that space, so it will try to remove it. That's basically why that inflammation is there, to promote the healing. There is a little bit of discussion also, maybe that anti-inflammatory medication can actually slow down this process. Other important part with the disc healing is basically the discs by itself, especially if they are brand new or they've never been injured before, they have very poor blood supply. What usually happens is with the blood vessels is the disc which was previously injured, your body will try to heal it. So it's going to develop some kind of blood supply, some kind of blood vessels over there. If it's been injured for multiple times, as it usually happens, there is going to be quite good blood supply. So your body is almost like trying to figure out like, okay, we are getting this kind of issue, this problem, this herniation, disc bulge, the disc is getting repeatedly injured, how we can speed up the recovery. The main way how we can speed up the recovery of the disc is basically keep it moving in very gentle way, usually in unloaded position, and kind of to promote the recovery, just to squish the fluid kind of in and out, even like multiple times a day without actually without irritating that layer which is already a little bit broken, a little bit injured. One of the worst advices is actually the bed, lying in the bed and resting in the bed, because what usually happens is if we are upright, the gel is basically being spread, being squished like this because of the gravity. After some time, the gel is going to lose certain percentage of the water, so there's going to be less pressure. If we are lying down just like this, the gel and the water, because there is less pressure, usually goes back into the disc, so the disc can rehydrate. This is very important again for the recovery standpoint, but if we spend oftentimes like 12 hours because we have very sore back in the bed, what happens is there is basically too much pressure, too much of this and too much pressure through that bulge, basically just like that. So the basic summary for that is keep moving in pain-free ways, reduce the pressure on it, and definitely do it in a small intervals. So even, let's say, if you find the walking is beneficial, I would rather do 5 minutes of walking every 1 or every 2 hours than going for a walk for 2 hours and then you won't be able to get back because of the back pain, because you did a little bit too much too soon. Gentle movement, less pressure, and maybe some position which we're going to talk about in the future video. Guys, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this is going to help you on your journey to recovery.